The international conflict between Israel, with the support of the United States, and Palestinians has been reflected over the past month in the form of conflict between the police and pro-Palestine protesters. In the case of one pro-Palestine encampment at George Washington University, however, it has brought another friction to the forefront: Washington, D.C.'s ability to self-govern and federal pressure on the district.
Free Palestine! Get the fuck out!
As has happened at many other universities, in late April, George Washington students set up an encampment in protest of Israel's operations in Gaza. A pile of barricades that some activists traversed early on laid at the center of the encampment. The university itself reportedly requested the Metropolitan Police Department clear the area by force, but D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser initially refused. Unlike any other jurisdiction, Washington, D.C.'s local governance is ultimately under the control of the federal government.
Let's keep it moving this way, okay? Let's move it that way. Let's go straight.
On Thursday, May 1st, Republican members of Congress from the Oversight Committee took a crowded tour of the encampment.
Obviously, there are people on the campus who have trespassed. According to the administration, the vast majority of the protesters aren't students, so they should be removed from campus.
I think there's a difference between private property and Main Street over here.
The anti-Semitic, anti-American terrorist ideologies that are being perpetrated at these camps all around America, and Mayor Bowser is allowing it to happen. It's truly
She is allowing it to happen, and she's preventing police from coming in here and doing anything to help you, and I'm so sorry for that.
Thank you.
Do you feel unsafe?
Yes, I feel unsafe when they're screaming intifada, intifada. That's thousands of us.
Hey, watch out for her!
Hands off DC! Hands off DC! Hands off DC!
James Comer, chairman of the House Oversight Committee, announced that he would hold a hearing to question Mayor Bowser and Police Chief Pamela Smith as to why the encampment hadn't already been cleared.
So we're going to have an emergency hearing Wednesday with the mayor and police chief of Washington, D.C.
Hands off DC! 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 Hands off DC!
We stand with Israel. We stand for peace in Washington, D.C. And the mayor must step up and do something to clear this. This is not the summer of love, and we are not bowing a knee to the terrorists who caused the riots and chaos in our cities anymore.
All of these people behind us right now, they're not actually helping Palestinians. If they were, they'd be condemning Hamas.
All students deserve to be protected. They deserve to have their voices heard, but you cannot take over a university campus for your own end. None of you will let it happen to your own house. You wouldn't let your house be overtaken by a group of people. You would call the police.
Why are you International Court of Justice? These students have a right to protest here today.
Free Palestine!
Get the fuck out!
The next day, Republican Senator Rick Scott also visited campus, opting to stop at the pro-Israel rally just 2 blocks away.
What a beautiful day to be here celebrating Jewish pride.
Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home! Bring them home!
Why do you assume that they're pro-Hamas and not pro-Palestine? Why do you assume that the protests
look at their signs? They support Hamas.
Thank you, guys. Representative Lauren Boebert said that Bowser should fund the National Guard yesterday. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, they got plenty of law enforcement. They could do it. Just let the law enforcement do their job. Law enforcement, my experience around the country, does their job.
Okay, thank you.
Republican members of Congress were clearly exerting pressure on the city. They didn't like the encampment, and they wanted it gone.
We don't want no Zionists here.
We don't want no Zionists here.
Say it loud and say it clear. We don't want no Zionists here.
The statue of George Washington, adorned with pro-Palestine iconography, watched over the encampment for the next several days. The space remained as it had been, students living, sleeping, and rallying around a shared demand that the university divest from companies doing business with Israel.
Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest, say what? Divest! We will not stop, we will not rest.
politicians? Why just yesterday you had these reactionaries like Lauren Boebert trying to use you as a prop, and you shouted her down.
On the evening of Tuesday, May 7th, the situation escalated mildly as students protested outside the university president's house, demanding she meet and negotiate. Then, around 3:45 a.m. on Wednesday, May 8th, mere hours before Mayor Bowser's congressional testimony, police moved in. Footage taken just outside the encampment shows officers forcing crowds away. Some students were maced.
Water! Give me water! Water! Who's got water? Water! Thank you.
In total, more than 30 were arrested, most of whom allegedly refused to vacate the encampment itself.
Go get a carjack or get one of those guns off the street, Mr. Superstar.
The tents were thrown into the trash, the street was hosed down, and by sunrise, the campus park holding the encampment was empty. That same morning, Mayor Bowser called for a press conference to explain.
As tensions have escalated on the campuses across our country, our community has been measured with our words and actions, and we have demonstrated and upheld our values and constitutional responsibilities.
On Monday, MPD learned of more indicators that the protest was becoming more volatile and less stable. This included a simple assault reported to GW police, security probing of a GW building, indicators that counter-demonstrators were covertly in the encampment, and information that protesters from other schools were traveling to GW. In addition, items that could potentially be used for offensive and defensive weapons were being gathered. All of this led to my discussion and conclusion that we needed to change our posture. I briefed Mayor Bowser on Monday, and we began preparing for last night. Our plan included giving warnings, multiple warnings, and clear direction to people inside the encampment to disperse the area. We allowed protesters ample time to leave the area. In total, there were 6 dispersal announcements before our officers took action. Many complied and left the encampment area. Those who did not comply were arrested. A total of 33 arrests were made this morning for charges including unlawful entry, which is often called trespassing in other jurisdictions, and an assault on a police officer. As the encampment was being cleared, additional protesters arrived outside of our perimeter. These individuals engaged our officers at 20th Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. Our officers did deploy pepper spray, and some of the 33 arrests were made at that location.
She and law enforcement officials said the raid, while she did expect it to get her out of testifying before Congress, was not timed to do so.
Hi, my name is Jennifer with the GW Hatchet. Did the timing of the oversight hearing committee meeting today have anything to do with the clearing at all? And do you still plan to speak at the committee hearing?
It did not. All of the decisions that I've made is based on public safety.
Are you still speaking today at the hearing?
I had the opportunity to speak with Chairman Comer this morning, and he expressed his interest in making sure the city and the chief could focus on this ongoing operation. I expect that hearing will be pulled down.
As the mayor and chief Smith indicated, over the entire encampment period, we've been working very closely with the George Washington University Police Department. And what we've seen is an escalation that really occurred as we moved into Monday. There were several incidents that occurred being reported to us either through the GW University Police Department or from observations that we saw ourselves.
Did you say earlier that you expected the Oversight Committee hearing would be postponed?
I expect it to be pulled down.
What does that mean?
Congressman Comer
Congressman Comer indicated that he thought our energy today should be on our ongoing operations. I agreed.
Sure enough, Chairman Comer announced the hearing's cancellation. Mayor Bowser was off the hook.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine! Oink, oink, piggy, piggy! We're gonna make your life shitty!
The next day, students in the movement were furious.
The administration and the federal government are fucking terrified of the world we built. A world where food, shelter, medicine, art, and knowledge were collectively distributed. A world where our existence doesn't line the pockets of the ruling elite. And so they took that world away from us. Shame! Our encampment was swept away by the hand of the Zionist war machine, but our strength, our resolve, and our resiliency cannot and will not falter. Our liberated zone's presence lives on within each and every one of us. I was one of the students whose own university arrested. Before I was arrested, I watched as these fascist pigs indiscriminately destroyed our art, our collectively accumulated resources, and our community infrastructure. It drives me fucking mad, but this madness is the most rational thing that we can feel. The violence we faced is just a faint echo of the brutal destruction that Palestinians face every day.
They marched to the university president's house, where they had been 2 nights earlier, and were faced by a large police force who seemed to anticipate them there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12! Remember, come to the fucking table! Remember, come to the fucking table! We know that you're fucking able! We know that you're fucking able! Deja vu!
What they were not ready for, however, is that the students packed freshly delivered tents. Just barely down the street at the administration building, students rushed to erect a new encampment as others linked arms to protect them.
Power to the student brigade! Power to the student brigade! Oink, oink, piggy, piggy! We gon' make your life shitty! We gon' make your life shitty! GW time us now! GW time us now! GW time us now! GW time us now! There is only one solution! Intifada revolution! Intifada revolution! Oink, oink, piggy, piggy! Oink, oink, piggy, piggy! We the students run the city! We the students run the city!
Police held a line on one side of the new encampment, which erupted into a rally lasting hours.
Long live the Intifada! Krista, you are not alone! Krista, you are not alone! This campus is a freedom zone! Fuck your barricade! Power to the student brigade!
If you are currently on George Washington University property, you are in violation of DC Code 22-3302, unlawful entry on property.
Around 10 p.m., not even 2 full days after the raid on the old encampment, the police were ready to do it again, and began issuing warnings.
Crowding, obstructing, or incommoding. If you do not cease your unlawful behavior and disperse peaceably by exiting at 19th and F Street Northwest, you will be arrested.
Some stayed, preparing to hold the line in the face of officers wielding batons clearly outnumbering them, as others fled from behind, taking the tents with them.
Fuck you, pigs! Fucking shut up!
With so many of their own already gone, the activist front lines retreated, averting what would have certainly been a futile attempt to hold back the cops.
By exiting at 19th and F Street Northwest, you will be arrested. This is your 4th warning. order from the organizers dispersed.
Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free, free!
Remember your strength, but keep calm, don't run.
We keep us safe! 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 Move back! 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 Move back!
The police are basically saying move back to absolutely nobody. There's a few journalists here, but the protesters largely retreated about a block. The activists dispersed, police and them now scattered throughout campus.
Fuck all of y'all. I promise whenever this goes down in history, y'all are the fuck. Y'all tell your kids you defended genocide. Tell your fucking kids you defended genocide. Just like you're defending right now. You're all brainwashed.
George Washington, decorated as a Palestinian activist looking over the encampment 2 days earlier, now stood concealed by a ghostly bag, surrounded by empty field and tall fence. Ford Fischer, News to Share, with additional footage by Anthony Peltier for Activism Uncensored, a collaboration with the Racket.